All right, so this is how I look. This is how I look into trading. I'm at the beach. So I'm just gonna. All right. So one thing I want to keep in mind on what do quant traders do, and what is a quant trader? So a quant trader is somebody who tries to figure out a fair price of value, right, within the market. When it comes to futures, you don't have price, you have points. So you see how on ES, this right here on ES, right, the symbol, there's 59. If you look at this line right here, it's 59.48 points, right? So a quant trader would look at all this data uh, from like the months to like weeks. Why isn't it coming up on months? Am I tripping? I guess it doesn't come up on its fine. Right, so we have all this data from 2001 to now, right? So a quant trader, they gather all this data, whatever happened between here, news events, whatever, and then they calculate it up until this moment if this is a fair price of value. So when we're charting, when I put lines within like these when I put these lines, when I do a Fibonacci chart, when I do these trends, all I'm trying to figure out within this 5-minute moment, or within these 5-minute candles, within these like between 7:30, because it starts right here at 7:30. If you see at the bottom, right here in the bottom thing, 7:30 to 12:30. This is a huge point move, which is it's a 51 point move. That's a lot of fucking money. So for perspective, for like a couple points, you can make like a couple hundred. So this is like a couple thousand. And this is just within the morning. So a quant trader basically tries to see a fair point in value. And when they make a trade, keep in mind in any moment that when they make a trade, they're basing their decision. It could be in this moment, it could be in this moment, in any one of these moments, there's a 50-50 chance it goes either way. But all indicators, all they really are is to help you make your decision within this moment through the overall story of what is happening for uh, the day or like the month. So at the end of the day, indicators are there to help you as an individual to trade. It helps you see what's going on within the moment and within the day. And that's important because there's no like one indicator strategy that's going to really help you make those decisions other than two, in my opinion, which is the Fibonacci. Um, because it works on some. Okay, so this sounds a little bit woo woo, but the Fibonacci is a mathematical sequence that works on some plants, not on all plants. I think ones that specifically, I don't know, something about gaining energy from the sun and like storing it in some way, but um, it's used as a predictive tool with trading because of how natural the numbers come up in nature. And obviously, I'm making a comparison. I'm making a comparison between uh, plants and like plans within the chart. So not all fib charts are gonna work on all time frames. Like some of them will not make sense, but some of them will really make sense. And you can see like when you just naturally chart on fibs, um, you'll naturally see bounces off of these zones that will be colored. Either they're gonna be sell-offs or they're gonna be buy-ins at these little ranges. So all we're really doing when we're trading is we're trying to figure out what is a fair buy-in or what is a fair play for us. And part of what is a fair play for us is managing our stop losses and managing our rewards, right? So, say you go into a trade. Say you have a plan, you go into a trade, right? Uh, I can't fucking buy. What am I thinking? I'm fucking high. Say you go into a trade and your stop loss is like right here, right? This red zone. So if it goes below this zone, you take a loss, you lose. Whatever. Your plan didn't work. The market doesn't care about you. It's just gonna do what it's always been doing, right? And if you just failed on your plan, like that means you need to get better at planning and get better at looking at the market, maybe not being so emotional. There's other psychological things to be aware of, but yada yada. At the end of the day, the key here is managing your plan and managing your losses and managing your rewards. So if I say this right here is the bottom and it's going to go up and it goes up, is my stop loss? My stop loss is most likely going to be around this green line or this to sell. Why? Because I have indicators telling me, hey, this is where you should start managing your reward. If you really want to risk it, manage your reward up here, manage your reward up here. This is all that the indicator right here is doing for me, is to help me consider if I should start managing my reward. It's not telling me to sell. It's not telling me this is the limit that you should sell here. It's telling me consider your plan, and because your plan either came to fruition, it either happened the way you thought it was going to happen, or it didn't, and your plan failed. So now you need to stop your loss and not lose maybe $1,000, but instead lose $100, instead lose 200, instead lose 300, instead lose one contract instead of 15, which could be the difference between $100
Gwyneth joined.
to $2,000, right? So when trading, there's a lot of things you have to do because you're trying to get down to this 1 minute candle. So you have to do a quick analysis on the day, the week. With April, there was tariffs, so there's a lot of movement.
Star mist left.
Tariffs, there's a lot of movement. So we saw that in last month of April with the huge buy and sell order, which resulted in like nearly 1,000 points being lost, which is insane, right? Within a day or within a month. Um, and so realizing like, hey, the market has been oversold, so a lot of these plays that are coming up, it's more like that means you're more likely. It's more fair for you to make a play betting on the chart going up than it is to go down because, like a quant trader would say, the fairness of what's like historically happened, right? It's so fair. Like it's been like a year since it's been that far down. And so for you to buy down here for an upward position, it's in your favor. The fairness is in your favor. Think about think about it as if we're playing a game of like heads and tails. If I get heads, I get $50. If you get tails, you get nothing, right? This is how people should see this zone right here when they see a mass exaggeration between, which is the tariffs, between which is like April 2025, right? And all this year. So when you're honestly, I don't think, I mean, maybe it's possible to like quant trade with AI and like just trade off of algorithms, but at the end of the day, the algorithms are there to help you make a split-second decision down to the minute on how you can make $500 within a minute or how you can make $100 in a minute with just one contract. And obviously explaining futures and how futures works is a whole different story. That's a whole different lesson, but right now I'm just teaching what the whole aspect of charting is used for, and what you should expect from charting and what you shouldn't expect from charting, which is that charting one method or any strategy is better than the other, or that one time zone is better than the other, or that charting will consistently make you money just based upon some lines on a screen using historical data that happened in the past. No, charting is helping you realize. You see this 4-minute red candle right here? Let's go into it. Now there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 3 green, 1 red. That's that 1 4-minute candle. So you see this 1 hour candle right here? That's
Gwyneth
red.
left.
Let's go into it. Now it's 2. Now it's 2 candles. One red candle, 1 red candle, because we just split it in half. Each candlestick is now 30 minutes instead of 1 hour, right? So all we're doing when we're going through the time frames, this is 15 minutes, right? And this is another 30 minutes. So look, we're seeing a trend, right? Like this would be four candles within its own time frame, but we go down to the 5-minute, 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 5-minute. That's these 3 candles are 15 minutes, and it's between these 2 zones. So look at the story that's kind of being told right here, right? So this is what I would do if I was going to trade opening, which I'm not going to trade opening. But because I'm telling myself this story, I'm trying to execute a plan on where my buy and sell zones are going to be once the market opens. Am I going to buy it? Am I going to sell it? Oh no, let's go to the 15-minute. Let's go to the 5-minute. Oh, it's recovering off 5 minutes. Go to that 1 minute. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The recovery is not that strong, but it's hitting this resistance zone. So it might either go up to this zone or this zone, or it might go down to this zone, this zone. There's not enough data. So I'd have to wait maybe 10, 15 minutes, see what happens, and then I can execute a plan. And if my plan succeeds, I'm making $500 in a minute, bro. And all I have to do is this 5 times in a week. With there's a little bit more rules, but essentially there's that 5 times in a week, and I'm making more money than I do with a regular job within a week for a 2-week paycheck, depending on where you are. But yeah, dude, like this is all it is, and there's a lot of indicators out there to help you. These lines that I made, they're actually from like a long ass time ago. They're actually from back here, which is in February, November, and September. I just crossed previous zones of support and resistance that are currently in this new price zone. And so because I drew those, I'm just trying to get a better picture on like where are we really struggling. And that's just right around here, which is right in the middle pretty much of all this stuff. But since we're finding a support through here, now we can better execute our plan on like what we're gonna do if we see certain things happen in the market, which takes patience, right? And I think everybody can trade. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like ESP, like, but you have the edge, and your edge is being able to see things in your own perspective and being able to understand your perspective and how you see the market with the news and what's possibly out there. And you can guarantee, like, I can guarantee you that you will not be profitable, but you will make money in the market within a trade. You won't fail 100% of the time. Like there's gonna be times that you'll see $100 or $500 in a minute. Like that is definitely easy. Like anyone can do that, but consistently doing that and psychologically being patient and knowing that you're sticking to your plan instead of doing stupid things like moving your stop loss. Like instead of losing $100, I'm willing to risk $500. That's a stupid idea. That's not a good plan. That's usually you just trying to be trying to avoid the pain of like whatever's going on, like putting yourself through more pain at the end of the day. So that's pretty much all I really had to say when it comes to teaching like the charts and all that stuff. Because most of it is like you have to just get used to the user interface and kind of like start practicing your plan and start practicing how you can master your emotions and your awareness towards what is happening right in front of you and how you can execute your plans, when to execute plans. And when you feel like you have this intuition, this edge of like, okay, I feel like my plan is going to work, so I'm going to execute it. That's like the hardest part because executing your intuition and your plan and watching it succeed or fail in different ways, in different forms, could be mentally struggling. Like you could hit your stop loss and then your plan works. You know, it's just unfortunate. It's not because your plan didn't. It's not because your plan didn't work. Your plan did work. It's just the market was able to stop you out before your plan worked. Your plan worked, and it's nothing personal. It's actually a good thing that your plan worked. It means you're learning and you're a successful trader. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. I don't know if you're still there because you haven't said anything.